I'm here with the composites team, which is one of the largest departments in Enstone. It actually employs about 150 people. We're talking fitters, laminators, pattern fixers, you name it, they work here. And they're a really important team. I think it's not massively easy to understand what they do. So firstly, let's find out a little bit more about that. And secondly, let's chat about why we're here, because this is the clean room. I had no idea these even existed before I came to Enstone, but it's in order to keep the carbon fibre that the team is working with contaminant-free. It's also the reason for my very fetching coat. So let's go and chat to one of the team members. Hiya Paul, it's lovely to meet you. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do here?
So in the composite clean room, we're laminating all of the components. So we make everything from chassis to floors, or the bodywork, suspension. There's roughly 40 to 50 benches in here. Working with carbon fibre in an uncured state, we need to keep it as free from contaminants as possible. So that's the reason we're wearing overcoats.
Very snazzy.
Yes, keep any contaminants out of the carbon while we're laminating it. And carbon fibre is also temperature sensitive. It's to keep it at a controlled temperature, keeps the carbon the correct cured percentage. When we're finished with it in here, we'll go to the bagging room. It gets put in a bag, sets the air sucked out of it. So it's put in a vacuum bag. Then it goes through to the autoclaves where it'll be cured. So it goes through a process of typically up to 135 degrees in the oven, 90 psi pressure for roughly 3 hours. And then obviously it goes to the trim shop to be demolded and trimmed up to size. So the aim of our job, you can see the desktops around the room. We get work manuals come down to us. So they come down as a PDF. So every bench has got their own manual. Parts have got part number. And what we're trying to do in here is work to the work manual. And what we can be doing is saving weight. The manuals are always being updated, new iterations. That's when we can either save weight or change structure, stress area. If you get the layout right and get them all fixed in the right place, and we do it to the best of our ability, we haven't got to add any more carbon in areas. So we're looking at quality is a big part of what we do. If we get the quality right in what we do, we haven't got to add any more material, we haven't got to add any filler in the trim shop, which obviously saves weight. If I wanted to get people involved, it's just like Lego. You're basically just putting pieces in, bricks in areas where they're asking for. You're working through a manual.
Yeah.
So
we just build Lego for everything.
Yeah, as long as you follow the process, it's just a case of putting the right bits in the right place.
You know, I love that. No, thank you so much.
No problem.
So what kind of prep outside of the car can be done for an F1 race weekend? Well, I think the most obvious answer is the simulator. You see the drivers posting about it on social media, helmet on, full focus in the sim. But it's not for them just to learn the track like everybody seems to think. At this point, racing drivers are pretty good at that. Instead, it's really helpful for designers, engineers, the vehicle performance group to get some data off the car, to analyze the setup, and also to make sure it correlates with what they saw on track at the previous race weekend. But you don't want to hear about that just from me. Let's talk to someone who knows a lot more about it. So Ben, it's lovely to meet you.
You too.
Could you tell me a little bit about what it is you do day to day?
Yes, so I run the Driver in the Loop simulator program. So we run our driving simulator here in support of the race program and in support of the development programs. And my job is to maintain, develop and operate the simulator. What we use it mostly for is developing the car. So we're working on developing setups for upcoming races, but we're also looking even further than that. We're looking at developing new parts, new concepts for maybe next year's car or even a few years' time. We can change a huge amount in the simulator. We try and make it as realistic as possible, and it means that if we make a setup change, for example, on the aerodynamics of the car or the suspension, it will react in the same way as the real car would. The advantage of the simulator is we don't have to go to the expense of designing and manufacturing new parts in order to get driver feedback on whether they're better or not. We hear the drivers talk about balance all the time, and it's about whether they've got the grip in the right place, if you like. And so we can evaluate that in the simulator, kind of like a track test, but in a room in the factory. And they go through a prepared set of changes and hopefully arrive well prepared at the track. When the driver comes in, he's sat in a real Formula One car chassis. So he ergonomically, and his working environment, if you like, of that cockpit is the same as in reality. So this is one of the steering wheels from the simulator. You may have seen these on TV, and it looks very similar to the real car race steering wheel because it is exactly the same. When the drivers are driving, they'll be able to make exactly the same changes as they might in a real world environment, and they'll get exactly the same messages here. What we're trying to do is make it as realistic and as good an environment for each driver, and they do have different preferences. For example, Esteban uses a halo in the simulator, which is a pain because it's hard to get in and out of the car with the halo. But Pierre doesn't find the need for it in order to kind of immerse himself in that realistic environment. It's just a personal difference that they have. We try to comply with them whenever we can.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.